Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. Glenn was already complaining, and before we
and
went
another
live.
thing, Larry.
And another thing. So, Glenn, tell us about your latest video while I try and make sure the Facebook feed is working.
Thank you, Larry. I just uploaded a new video this morning for your viewing pleasure. It's called Best, Worst, Overrated, Underrated. So I picked through the kind of the more essential albums of 5 different classic bands. And I didn't go for the, I mean, some are just easy to do. Like you could grab one of those new Who albums, for instance, and say it's their worst album. I kind of tried to stick to a sweet spot in their career and pick 4 albums, pick the best one, the worst one, which one would be a little underrated, which one might be overrated. And I watch it. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's probably the best video ever made, actually.
I do agree. I won't say much more about, but Pink Floyd's Animals, I can't get into that either.
Larry, I have tried. I don't know if there's an album I've tried to listen to more than that one, and just don't seem to get it. Hello, Victor.
Hello, Victor.
Hello, Victor.
Patty. Oh, no. I know Glenn's on. I apologize.
Oh, no.
You know what I got yesterday at Chumley's? I got 10 Joke vinyl records for $1 each, right? I took them up to the counter and he said, "Oh, we have a deal, 15 albums for $10." You know, so I got 5 more. I got 15 vinyl records for $10.
And what were they?
Well, mainly Joke ones. There might be one or two decent ones.
Wow.
And also I got this for $10.
Oh.
It's 3 CDs. It includes his his Joke album that he made with
it's bad.
I know it's bad. It's funny though. Blowing your nose.
That's not a good set. I didn't like it. I might have I wonder if that was mine. I'm trying to think if I traded that one in yet. That might have been mine.
Yeah. I should have given you the $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still got his, the original album with Brown Eyed Girl and all that.
Yeah.
And Bang Sessions. Yeah, I just bought it because of the Joke songs.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Hello, hope you are all well. Thank you, Tony.
Mick.
And
Tony an MC, or is he Mick something?
He must be a DJ. I think we're going to have possibly Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie, on Grant's Rock Warehouse, and possibly Tim from Pale Wizard Records, who gifted me some Spark stuff and other stuff. It's Morris.
Morris, how are you, buddy?
Yay, Morris. Mike. Hello, Larry. How are you, bro? We're actually brothers. Did you not know that, Glenn?
You and Mike?
Yeah, that's why he says bro. He always calls me bro because we're brothers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
TB Sheets. You got to be careful how you say that.
Oh, it is a good album. Yes,
it's a good album on Bang. Paul. Hey, Larry, knowing Glenn, he probably wouldn't give Wiener, King Gizzard, and Lizard Wizard chances due to his stigma with bad names. Damn, they're so good.
I want to correct Paul. I actually think King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's a great freaking name. And I have given them a chance. I've listened to them quite a bit, and I like them. I just haven't listened. They've got such a big catalog.
Yeah.
Ween, they can.
Who is this guy that came on? I don't even know him. Who is it? I think it's Tim, who gifted me these awesome vinyl records and CDs. Where are they here? The CD, Alice Cooper tribute.
He's got them all.
Ziggy Stardust. I haven't listened to this yet. And Budgie, I have not even opened yet because I've heard of Budgie, but I've never really heard their music.
Yeah.
So I might include that in the contest I'm going to do. I'm not sure yet.
Cool.
So how are you doing, Tim?
I'm good. Yeah, all good. Busy day. Work never seems to stop, even on a Sunday, but hey, it's better to be too busy than not busy at all, I say. So
yeah.
Is it a long weekend in the UK?
It's been warm here, so yeah, we're not used to it being warm. So
'cause we're in a holiday weekend this weekend,
oh right, yeah, no, we haven't got a holiday weekend.
which they call it Victoria Day. So it's Queen Victoria's birthday was there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we do have another one coming up, but I think it's the end of May, so it'll be yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That
There
might
it is.
amazing.
There it is.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I'm going to have a contest probably within the week for, I think, two of these vinyl records that will be sealed.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know what, maybe also $10,000.
Seems like a good competition to me.
Can
Can I enter or am I exempt?
Yeah.
Adam, honored to be Larry's long lost brother. My bad, Glenn, just pulling your chain.
Ow, that hurt.
Also love the van. Yeah, I can see you liking King Gizzard and not Ween.
Yeah.
Greetings. I'll be making my order for the kimono 50 years later. Yeah, there you go.
Good one.
Have you noticed since I've done the video, Tim, that you've gotten like thousands of orders because of my influence?
Not thousands, but to be fair, we've had a few come through, so we're very pleased. Yeah.
Yeah, some people have commented that they're gonna.
I've seen. Yeah, I've seen. It's all been quite positive as well, which is good.
Yeah.
So Tim, are you just distributing this product, or do you have something to do with creating the whole idea of it, or can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was my baby. This whole project right from the beginning. So 50 years later is a series of records we've been doing since 2021, when the sort of pandemic was in its full throes and we had nothing to do. We had no work on. We decided to launch this series of albums called 50 Years Later. My colleague Dan, who runs the label with me, he's a big fan of Alice Cooper. So he thought, let's do a tribute to this Alice Cooper album, Hilleard, which is turning 50 in 2021. And it went really well. So we decided, let's do another one. So we decided to do Ziggy for 1972.
Here's Ziggy.
And there's Ziggy. And that's great, that one. I really liked that one. That came out really well. And then it sort of came down to, let's do another one. Let's keep it going. But then we couldn't decide on what to do for 1973's album. So we ended up deciding that Dan could do an album that he wanted to do for 1973 if I could do what I wanted to do for 1974. So he chose to do Budgie, and that's a band I don't really know, like you, Larry, don't know that much about.
Yeah.
But he's a big fan, so he picked all the bands and pretty much took the lead on that one. And then I said, well, I'm doing Sparks then for 74. And yeah, so it's been my project from the beginning. I pretty much chose all the bands on it, and here it is, all released and out there in the big wide world.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I have seen one negative comment on it, but the guy only listened to it once, right?
Oh, really?
Like, you need to listen to it more than once. The first time I listened to it, I thought, yeah, it was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more than good. The second time, it just hit me. This is great. There's a consistency to the. It's almost like one band. I mean, they're all different, right? But it's like the same kind of sound throughout. It's not like.
Yeah, I
it's
think
consistent.
Yeah,
and
you're right. A lot of that is to do with the fact that we basically mastered it all ourselves, and it was all mixed mostly by our own engineer at the studio we run.
Yeah.
So we've sort of learned that lesson from doing these, that the Killer one, as good as it is, it does sound like a compilation. Whereas as it's gone on, we've done more and more of it in-house. We've recorded more bands in the studio, and we've mixed pretty much everything ourselves. Our engineer that masters as well, he does a consistent job on all of our stuff now. So it kind of hangs together better as an album, if you know what I mean. So and less of a compilation. So I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you find the bands to participate?
With this one, some of them we knew. I mean, there's a couple of bands on this one which are actually based in our studio. Sergeant Thunderhoof and Foxjaw in particular. But some of them were bands that I just sort of knew about in the touring scene in this country, and approached them thinking they might be Sparks fans, and it sort of turned out that they were, which was cool. And then some of them were, international bands. There's a couple of bands from the States. There's a band from Sweden on there. Bands that I've sort of I've admired them and thought they'd be ideal when they accepted, or in the case of there's a band called Chaosmonaut. They actually approached us at the label because they just recorded a 30-minute long piece of music which they were trying to put out and looking for a label for, and sent it through to us saying, what do you think? And we both liked it. We thought it was great, but we didn't know what to do with a 30-minute piece of music because you can't really put that on a vinyl record. So what we decided to do was offer them a chance. We wanted to work with them, was to offer them a chance to record a Sparks track, and they didn't really know who Sparks were. So I said, go away, listen to the album, come back and tell me what song you'd like to do. And they chose Complaints, and I've had some people say that's actually better than the original song. So,
wow,
I don't think it is. I think it's an equal, but it's great.
Would you describe overall this? It's, what would you say, like heavy rock or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say what we do is heavy metal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like heavy. A lot of the bands that we've released in the past are what they call stoner rock and like desert rock, that kind of thing. But yeah, hard rock, heavy rock. I've been trying to sort of branch out a bit with the Sparks one and included a few bands which are probably a bit more sort of indie-ish and punky. Silvery being a good example of that, who do Talent Is an Asset on here. Yeah, they're great. They're a great band, and they're a band that Sparks fans actually recommended to me. So I really wanted to get the input of Sparks fans. So when I thought this is the project we're going to do, I went onto the Sparks Facebook groups and said, are there any bands that you guys would like to take on a Sparks cover? And the name Silvery came up, must have been 5 times, in various comments on the various groups. So I emailed them and just sort of said, would you take on a Sparks cover? And they said, are you kidding? Sparks are our biggest influence. So they were more than happy to do it. So that was cool, having a band that Sparks fans wanted on there as well.
Now, would you expect at some point, or maybe you have already, have you heard from the Sparks camp if they've heard it?
No, I haven't. No, I was talking to Larry.
How do you do that? Do you kind of reach out? Because if it was me, I'd be going, hey, I want to get this to these guys.
Yeah, I've emailed their manager, and I've heard nothing back yet. So I don't know whether she's read it or not. I don't know. This was a few weeks ago now. Yeah. I sort of waited until the project was ready, and because we have to pay them for the rights,
Yeah.
Once we paid them and the project was ready and it was
They'll
released,
listen once they get the money.
Well, yeah, they should have it by now.
It'd be interesting to get some feedback. That would be very cool.
Yeah, because I think they'll be impressed.
I think, as I said, when I did this chat with Monty not so long ago, and I sort of said to him, I would be happy for any feedback from them, even if they hated the idea of it.
Yeah.
Just to say, you've done this and we don't like it. And I'm going, well, yeah. So I've done it now. I'm sure. I think they would be supportive. I mean, from what I know of them, they seem to be supportive of similar kind of projects in the past.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not doing this to make money. I mean, if we wouldn't be doing this to make money. This is not a money spinner for us. This is a labor of love, and it's. I hope they would see. I mean, as you've seen, Larry, with the physical thing, it's all full of sleeve notes and
Yeah, it's just really classily. How do you say that? It's classy. The way it's done is very classy. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, are these records available through any other like Amazon or anything too, or are you just from your own site?
Yeah, just from our own site. There's certain record shops in the UK that are carrying them, but yeah, it's mainly it's available on our Bandcamp and then our Big Cartel page, which is on palewizard.co.uk. Yeah, the distribution through Amazon was just too expensive for a label of our size.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've gone down that route before, and the cut becomes so small that the profit that you make on it doesn't seem worthwhile. Which is unfortunate. I mean, maybe one day that's something we'd look into, but at the moment, with the amount of physical copies we're making, I don't think Amazon would be a worthwhile lead for us for the amount of sales it might generate. With the internet, you can drive people towards your website and your Bandcamp quite successfully, can't you, these days? So, yeah.
Michael Nolan, he's become a member too, Glenn.
What do you have to do to become a YouTube member?
You have to spend $2 per month, Glenn.
No, I thought that was Patreon.
Oh, that's Patreon. Michael's one of my patrons, and Michael's
spending $4 a month now.
I think $6.
Oh,
and Michael, the new song requests were posted on my front page on Patreon. You have to make your song request. I don't think he sees it or something.
Michael, if you just want to throw $6 a month away, I could use some money. to send me a check every month. It'd be great.
So Tim, so next year's record, can you say what it is yet, or?
I can. We have announced it. Yeah, it's "Wish You Were Here," Pink Floyd.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, we just thought the time would be right to do something a bit more sort of mainstream and a bit more major, and try and maybe attract a bigger band to it. We haven't finalized the lineup yet, so any suggestions that anyone might have, or if you're in a band,
Glenn plays banjo, if that helps.
Yeah, we'll do bluegrass versions of.
Do a full-on bluegrass version of "Shine On You Crazy Diamond."
Yeah.
So I guess you would only have 5 bands then, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that again, it's going to be quite a challenge for some, for everyone involved, really, because they're intricate songs. But it's my favorite Pink Floyd album, and it's Dan, my colleagues as well. So we're hoping to do it justice.
So not to be negative, but has there ever been a point where a band or artist has sent you something and it's like not good?
Do you know what? No.
Cease and desist.
No. We let people do what they like, really, with the track. We because we're quite picky on who we're choosing.
Yeah.
And we kind of know what they're going to sound like.
Right.
Then we sort of say to them, you can do whatever you like with the song. Just all you can't do is change any of the lyrics or put swear words in or anything.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can do what you like. So yeah, we kind of know what we're going to get back in most cases. Is going to sound what it's roughly going to sound like. So yeah, we've never had to say to anyone, no, that's no good. That's not good enough. Because I think that would be a failure on our part of when we're picking these musicians in the first place. I think most people we've picked, we know we're going to get a strong track back, and yeah, we're yet to be proven wrong. So
yeah, and so for 2026,
yes,
what band can you say yet, or album? I mean,
for the year after Pink Floyd, we've not crossed that one yet.
But that's your choice, right?
Well, no, because Pink Floyd was a joint choice again.
Okay.
It was only individual choices for
I see.
For Budgie and Sparks, because we got to 73s and we just couldn't decide. I can't remember what I wanted to do. We were going to do Elton John at one point for 73, I think. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, but that would have been, a double album. That would have been a lot of bands, and I don't think the label could have really afforded it, unfortunately. But that would have been a nice one to do. So yeah, we're constantly arguing because we have quite different tastes in music ultimately, and he's in this band Sergeant Thunderhoof, and they're very much part of the like the sort of desert rock scene in the UK. They just played Desert Fest this weekend, which is like a big stoner rock desert rock festival in London. And he kind of wants to keep the label a bit more within the realms of that, whereas I'm trying to push it into a bit more other realms of hard rock, if you know what I mean. So that's why the Sparks one's a bit more eclectic, and there's a bit more of a bigger range of bands, I guess. And maybe if you listen to the Budgie one, you'd hear it's a bit more traditional. So with the Pink Floyd thing, I'm going to fight my best to try and get some more sort of left field kind of sounding bands on it, I guess. And then, yeah, for 76, we'll have to decide between us, I think, what we do next. It'll have to be something big. We'll keep pushing the envelope now, haven't you?
What I was just thinking was David Bowie's Low. Isn't that 76?
That's 76? Yeah, I think it might be.
78. That's 78.
I don't know if we'd want to do Bowie again once we've done it once. I mean, because I would quite happily do Sparks every time, and I'm sure he'd be quite happy to do Alice Cooper every time. So yeah. I think
once you decide on an album and start talking to bands and figuring out what's the start to end date, how long does it take a project to start and complete?
We usually give them it's usually about a year or so out, because we give them about sort of 6 months or so to prepare the track, to record the track and get it ready and get it back to us. And then because of the wait times for vinyl, which has come down a lot, to be fair. I mean, we got the kimonos back within a couple of months, but at one point when we first started doing this, vinyl wait time was more or less 6 months. So we kind of have to start thinking about it a year out. So with Pink Floyd, I think it's September 75, Wish You Were Here was released. And obviously our releases, they come out 50 years later to the day. That's the whole shtick behind it. So that needs to be released in September. So the bands are going to probably have a deadline of maybe sort of April next year, maybe May, pushing into then. If the vinyl manufacturing times continue to drop. So
that.
yeah, we'll start to sort of finalize the lineup for that probably towards the autumn, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. But it's all about the Sparks one at the moment. I mean, it's just been so exciting to get this one finally. It just seems like only a few weeks ago I was just sort of like drawing up the plans to approach the first few bands, and then now it exists. Now it's out there in the world, and the reviews have been on the whole very good. I mean, there's a few sniffy comments here and there from people.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be, right?
But there always is, you
can't.
Throughout the years we've done this, and there's always been people saying, "Well, how dare you do this to this song?" That song still exists. It's not been deleted from history. The original is still there. You can still listen to it. That's a weird thing about cover versions. Some people get so precious about covers, especially their very favorite artists. So, yeah.
And what besides these projects, like what else are you involved in terms of music? And you have a recording studio, I'm assuming. Is that?
Oh yeah, we run. We have a studio called Stage 2 Studios in Bath, which is based in the southwest of England, near Bristol. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we're a rehearsal studio, and we also have recording facilities there. So yeah, we have our own in-house engineer. His name's Josh. He is the guitar player in the band Foxjewel, who did This Town on our 50 Years Later. And he also produced pretty much most of the album and mixed pretty much all of it as well. So, yeah, we're open 7 days a week from 10 in the morning to 11 at night, and we're pretty busy most of the time. So
wow, that's awesome.
It's a tiring lifestyle, but it is exciting.
Yeah, pretty interesting way to make a living for sure.
Yeah, you kind of fly by the seat of your pants a little bit.
Excuse me.
When the next band's going to book in to record, you don't know. You look into the calendar in a few months' time and it's empty, but then it starts to fill up a few weeks before. So you just never know. It's just every day's different.
Yep. Wife is on a huge Sparks kick currently. That's cool. So, Tim, what other artists do you like?
My taste in music goes for... I used to be quite into sort of more heavier stuff when I was a bit younger. So a lot of metal bands. I used to be into like more quite extreme metal, like black metal.
That's like Glenn's favorite.
Stuff, all that screaming and carrying on. And I used to be quite involved back in the day with a YouTube channel called Contraband Candy, where we used to travel the whole of Europe pretty much and go to these like extreme metal festivals and interview all these guys dressed up in all the silly paint and all the spikes and stuff. And yeah, those were interesting times. So we did a lot of that back in the day. But I can't say I really listen to that much anymore. I remember saying to you before, I think when I discovered Sparks a few years ago, I spent pretty much a year listening to nothing but Sparks.
Wow. So
if you look at my my Apple Music stats for that year, it's literally just a list of Sparks songs. So you have listened to Sparks, I think it said Sparks and FFS, and that was it. That was all I listened to pretty much all year.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm quite into reggae. Like a lot of the older reggae, definitely. And I'm quite sort of into a lot of varying sort of classic rock bands, not a lot of traditional ones, but some of the more sort of left field ones, XTC.
Glenn loves XTC. Yeah. So do I. Yeah.
Supertramp, that kind of thing, Yeah. And I quite recently got into the Cardiacs. Do you know the band Cardiacs?
No,
I've heard of them.
Yeah, like a cult UK. They call themselves. Well, they didn't actually call themselves it, but their fans kind of christened them Pronk, which is like progressive punk.
Oh, yeah.
Which is quite a good way. They sound a bit sort of circus music mixed in with punk, mixed in with like all kinds of prog from the late 70s. So they're a very interesting listener. It takes a bit of getting into, but they've got quite a bit of music. But yeah, I've been doing sort of deep dive into them of late. So maybe a Cardiacs tribute album might surface one day.
There's your album for 1979, English Settlement.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. If we get there, it's a way away yet. I'm looking forward to the 80s. I'm quite into 80s pop music as well. So if we're still doing this in the 80s, I think that opens up a whole world of possibilities with like adapting synth-based music for heavy guitar bands. I think that's going to be cool. So we'll see. I actually went to watch Thompson Twins the other night in a town where I live. The 80s band that are still going. Well, one of them's still in it, Thompson Twin. So I think that would be good to try and maybe do a heavy rock version of their music at one point.
Could you tell which one it was? They both looked the same.
Oh yeah, it was the main guy, the lead guy. Yeah, because I think the other guy was a black guy, and then there was a female member as well. But they're not in it anymore. It was the main dude, Tom, I think his name is.
Morris, to answer your question there, it's because I'm posting this on both of my. Glen's gone! Yay, Tim! Celebrate!
I bored him to death with Thompson.
Too much talk about Sparks.
Yeah.
But anyway, Morris, I have this on both of my channels, so that's why you might not. If you go over to my Canadian Studmuffin channel, you probably see more comments. I've heard of them. Van der Graaf Generator. They're interesting.
Interesting fact about Van der Graaf Generator. We recorded one of their most recent albums in the studio. The main guy from Van der Graaf Generator, I forget his name.
Peter Hamill?
Peter Hamill, yeah. He lives locally. So
wow. An
album they did about, must have been 2015, something like that. They recorded with us, and it was really good. So I do know them. Yeah.
I just wanted to be on the bottom, Larry.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we were celebrating when you left, Glenn, and then you came back. All right.
Glenn's gone. Yay, Tim.
Yeah. So for the contest, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But what I plan to do is at the end, like just pick a number out of a hat or something. But
okay. Are you going to set a question, do you think? Or just
it might be a question. Like for them, the idea is for them to do a video, right? And kind of spread it around.
Yeah.
So they have to do a video, and they're forced to do a video. And it's got to be Sparks related, I guess, in some way.
Yeah. So maybe they could, maybe kimono related, or something, or maybe they could decide which album they like best out of kimono.
The other thing I was thinking is, it could be another band, but like with Sparks, Kimono My House, and then their latest, such a long span between the albums, and they're both great albums. So maybe another band that's had at least a 20 or 30 year gap between albums that are really, and they're still great albums. Yeah. Can you think of any bands, Glenn, that have been putting out albums for like 20 or 30 years that are still
kicking?
Yeah.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
That's the obvious answer, isn't it? I've not heard their latest album yet. What do you guys think?
I bought it. It's good.
I usually go into the gutter at some point.
Glenn is a big. Glenn used to see the Rolling Stones like in the early 70s or late 60s.
Yeah,
wow.
70s.
And you're a big fan, but just not of their newer stuff.
Well, I just think it's a waste of time.
I remember enjoying the 80s stuff for what it's worth, like Harlem Shuffle and all that kind of thing. But I've never been huge on the Stones. I do appreciate a lot of their earlier stuff. But again, I've not really heard anything since the 90s stuff. So I couldn't tell you what I think of them these days.
You're not missing much.
No, that's what I've kind of heard.
Yeah.
Richard Bain, what at the moment is your favorite Led Zeppelin deep cut? Mine is In the Light. Mine is...
Deep cut.
Yeah, I would say Sick Again. It's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs.
In the Light's pretty good pick.
Tim, do you have one?
I think,
Gallows Pole be considered a deep cut?
What's that?
Gallows Pole
be
considered a deep cut? Yeah, that's my pick.
I'm going to go Stairway to Heaven. That's a real deep cut, isn't it?
don't
That
think I've
never
heard
gets
that.
played on the radio.
Never.
I don't think I've ever heard that song. What album's that on?
I got
We
to
did
hear that.
consider Houses of the Holy for 50 years later as well at one point.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not even the best Led Zeppelin album, is it? So we passed on it in the end.
That's funny. Glenn just did a video today, and the most most overrated album?
Take a band's catalog and name their best album, worst album, most overrated, most underrated album.
Yeah.
And which one did you do?
I did Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Yes, The Doors, and who else? I can't remember. I did 5. Can't remember who the other one was.
What did you say was most underrated for Yes?
For Yes, most underrated, I think I picked Tales from Topographic Oceans.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I do like that one. I'm a big fan of Drama. I really like Drama.
Yeah, I didn't mention Drama at all. I picked
Yeah.
Tomato as my worst.
I've
And
really
the
got into Buggles recently, and I just really like a lot of stuff that Trevor Horn does, and I think his vocals on that Yes album are just great. So,
Yeah, that's a good album. Yeah.
yeah.
Achilles' Last Stand. Yeah.
That's a great song.
Bonzo's Monterey.
Montreux.
Montreux. Is it Montreux?
Yeah. Montreux.
4 Sticks.
Got to brush up on your French, Larry.
This is for Tim, I think. Can you see that comment?
The album he was talking about was Do Not Disturb, a great CD.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. What's Do Not Disturb?
The cats agree. Tales is underrated, Glenn. A major record. Yes, Michael, I agree.
Yeah, it is underrated. I think people, a lot of people slam it. I had a very generous viewer give me a couple of nice gifts, Larry.
Yeah, I saw that.
Country's last 2 albums.
Yeah.
Defiance on vinyl, and I got Defiance 2, which just came out on CD. I haven't even listened to them yet. So I'm interested in hearing. Have you heard these albums?
No.
They certainly get rave reviews.
Yeah. And so lately I've been getting into Glenn's favorite band, Ween.
Okay.
Ween. This album, The Pod, the first time I played it, I thought this is the worst one of the worst albums I've ever heard. Seriously. I put it away and I didn't play it for at least a couple of weeks. And then one day I took it out and I actually really liked it. The third time I played it, I loved it. So it, one of those albums that just grew on me. And then Can, I love Can. Glenn has this one he can't totally get into, Tego Mago. And then there was one more. Oh yeah, Future Days. This is one I think, Glenn, you would probably like more, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as crazy. It's really good. And then Tim, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh wow, yes. Do you like them?
Yeah, I love them. And I think Glenn would, like I mentioned to Glenn earlier, I think he would love this one because it's a bit more mellow. And then there's this one here. Yeah. So
How many albums? They've got like a ton of albums.
well, that's why I didn't want to get into them, right? I heard, I heard them last year, and I really like this band. And then I see how many albums they have, like over 20. It's like I don't want to get into them. But
I did approach them for Sparks, actually. I did email them, and they said, no, too busy.
Well, they
and
are.
Also, who are you?
Too busy making another 20 albums this year.
Well, indeed, yeah. I thought they're so prolific. They seem to be constantly in a studio. If I catch them at the right time, maybe they'll be up for it. But no, they said they're too busy. So, which is a polite way of saying no. Don't like Sparks. No. You can hear my cat being very vocal this evening.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. Yeah, Morris is a big fan too of King Gizzard. Future Days might be my favorite Can album. It's very meditative. Yeah. And Glenn, you like to meditate, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a meditator, Larry.
I've
I'm gonna do
heard
it right now, actually, as we see.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead.
Yeah. I've heard of the band Amon Duel 2. They sound pretty good.
When you've had your fun and your work is done, you must not succumb. Sounds like a song.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to heavy metal rock music with no lyrics rather than listening to Guns N' Roses. Axl now sounds like Mickey Mouse on crack.
Agreed.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with heavy metal instrumental music.
Just the vocals, see.
Yeah.
There, you love Quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, that album has 4 songs, and each song is 10 minutes, 10 seconds long. I think it's mainly instrumental, too.
Wow, interesting. I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah. Used to see the Ween brothers shopping at Princeton Record Exchange. That is cool. Barry, how is your cat, Larry? My cat is fine. She's up there.
I didn't know your cat's name was Larry.
How's your cat, Larry? Yeah. My cat's name is Larry, too. Future Days is also my favorite. Glenn, write down Can Future Days.
Future Days. Oh, that's Can?
Yeah.
Okay. Quarters was King Gizzard, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
King Giz has released 20-some albums since 2011. Crazy.
I think they're the band that sort of let people release their music wherever they are. Like if they have their own label, they can approach them and release their, as long as it's done to a professional standard, they'll let people put out their stuff, which is quite an interesting way of doing it. Maybe we could do that.
Do they ever tour? I've never heard of them being in Canada for some reason.
No, I've never. Well, I think they've played over here, but not recently. Not that I've seen recently. I may be wrong. I don't know.
'87's The Mollusk. Yeah, I want to get that one by Ween, but some of them are kind of expensive to buy. Yeah. Pork roll, egg, and cheese. Mark, thumbs up. There are lyrics on each song from Quarters, but it has more a jam feel to it, kind of jazzy. There you go, Glenn.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark Hamill. Landed is a good Can album. Say Hello to Mittens. All cats are awesome. I first learned of Can from a Goldmine article in 1990. Wow. Bought Tego Mago after reading it. I ordered Sparks Kimono My House. You mean you ordered 50 years later? Right, Tim?
No, he ordered the original version.
Oh, he ordered the original.
Boy, you can't go wrong with either, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. They answered my question. They're here. They're coming.
Yeah, they have played in Toronto, Glenn. I've seen footage of them in Toronto. Yeah. Pavlov's Dog. Yeah, I like them. I knew this was going to come from Michael. Axl Rose sings like a rusty axle. I've still not forgiven him for Live and Let Die.
We made a whole discussion video on Guns N' Roses and specifically Axl Rose's voice after they played Glastonbury in the UK last year, because it was so controversial, because I thought he was really bad and there were some people that quite enjoyed it. So me and Dan sat down and made a whole like half an hour YouTube discussion video and went through some of the comments that we'd seen of people talking about Axl. But I don't think he's ever been a great singer, particularly, has he? It's not his thing.
Yeah.
And I've never really liked their music, so I'm kind of biased myself.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the opportunity to go to Glastonbury?
Do you know Glastonbury is about 20 miles away from where I live?
Wow.
And I've never been. It's just never really has the kind of lineup that I'd want to.
But Sparks was there, weren't they?
That was last year, yeah.
And you missed them.
I know. Well, we did go 4 times last year on the tour, so
Yeah.
Went to
Oh, yeah.
Albert Hall twice. I went
Yeah.
to Wolverhampton. I went to Oxford as well. So I think maybe Glastonbury might have been overkill.
Yeah.
The thing with Glastonbury is you just don't know who's going to be playing before it sells out. So that
Yeah.
the tickets go on sale, it sells out, and then 6 months later they announce the lineup. So you're kind of taking a gamble, in my opinion. If you're really into the bands, that you might not end up seeing anyone that you want to see. And
Yeah.
when it costs a lot of money, like it does now,
Yeah.
I can't afford that. If I'd have bought a ticket for this year, I'd have been very disappointed when it's like Coldplay headlining and a couple of other bands I've never heard of playing near the top. Yeah.
So what do you think of like Sparks live? Like I saw them too, but you saw them 4 times. And what do you think? These guys are both in their mid 70s. Like, what do you think overall about them performing live?
I said after, because we saw them the year before when they did the tour, which was delayed from COVID times, because they announced the tour around the time that Drip came out, didn't they? And then it was postponed, and then we sort of managed to get a ticket on the secondary market and went along. And I said that was and I've been going to gigs consistently for 30 odd years, and that was the best live performance I've ever seen by any band I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I thought they got better when we saw them on the tour last year.
So did I. Yeah, I thought. Yeah. I mean, the first time, the year before was great, but this last year was even better. Yeah.
And the set list as well. It's just so cleverly put together. They must have, they've got such a large amount of songs to choose from, and that must be the hardest part of being in that band now when it comes to the live show is picking what they're going to play. But they do it so well, and the set list is just perfectly.
Yeah. And Russell isn't lip syncing so far like the Eagles.
No. I can't believe the man. I mean, he's just a force of nature, isn't he? The way he moves around on stage, and I can't move like that, and I'm 30 years young. It's crazy.
Yeah. What is your favorite song over 8 minutes long? Ooh.
Salisbury by Uriah Heep.
There's another band we considered doing for 50 years later as well. Demons and Wizards came up in the comments.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I was pushing for that, but in the end, it didn't happen. So maybe we could revisit Uriah Heep a bit later on in the 70s. I do like them.
I'll say yes, The Gates of Delirium.
I say Stairway to Heaven again. I'd say from what I've heard recently, the band Chaosmonaut, who sent us that 30-minute long track, it's on their Bandcamp, and that's worth listening to because that pretty much throws the kitchen sink at everything when it comes to hard rock. There's all different kinds of genres in there. They're kind of like a doom metal band at heart, but they also do sort of blackened death metal and sort of long sort of proggy. Obviously it's progressive because it's 30 minutes long, but long sort of progressive passages as well. So I would check out Chaosmonaut for an interesting long song, and it is a long song.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have a link for everybody's channel, and any links you want, just send them to me and I'll put it in the description. Listen to some old Brian Eno albums on YouTube. Don't know what to make of them. You think it's good stuff? I've heard just a little of his music.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to hold much interest for me for whatever reason. Yeah,
a lot of it's very experimental, isn't it? It's an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah. AI video of Mickey Mouse singing "Sweet Child of Mine." Painter? No. Won't get fooled again. Won't get ooled again. Bad Out of Hell from Meatloaf, Glenn's favorite all-time singer.
One of my worst albums of all time.
Well,
Glenn listens to Bad Out of Hell at least every other day.
Yeah.
We had to do I didn't say we have to, but we did do, because we have been doing on our YouTube channel a series of these ranking of discographies. We did one for all the bands that we've done on 50 Years Later, so Sparks and Alice and Bowie, but we also have done them for other artists as well that people have sort of asked us to listen to, and Meatloaf was one that we did last year or the year before, And I actually quite like Bat Out of Hell, but a lot of his other stuff is yeah, anything that Jim Steinman's not involved with that Meatloaf did is basically very poor, it seems.
Yeah. Love Uriah Heep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
2112 Rush. Close to the Edge, down by the river.
That's my favorite.
What is your favorite double album of all time? The Beatles' White Album.
That's so hard. There's so many great ones. So many. I like Physical Graffiti. I like Exile on Main Street. Man. Quadrophenia.
I might have to give a shout out to Cardiacs for this one, actually, because they've done an album called Sing to God, which came out in 1995, and that is one of the best sort of double albums that I've discovered recently. It's like an hour and a half long, and it's just brilliant. Doesn't let up throughout the entire time. Most albums, when they're that long, they don't hold your attention, do they? But, yeah.
Glenn, have a few words for Ernest.
I was wondering where Ernest was. He's late.
Yeah. What's his excuse for being late? That's what I'd like to know.
What are you, Sam St. John?
Bad Religion. Yeah. Physical Graffiti. That's another one of the greats. Tales. Yeah. Yes. Social Distortion. I've never heard them.
Me neither.
Glenn doesn't like them because of the name. Glenn doesn't like any band.
Social Distortion is a good name.
Okay. No, but Glenn doesn't like any band that has a stupid name like The.
Yeah. I won't listen to The. No.
I've never really listened to The, but I get the impression that I probably really like them. I've heard
I might not dislike them either, but I just think if that's the amount of time you're going to take up with a name, then why am I going to invest any time listening to your music?
That's fair enough.
There's a question for Tim.
Are they similar to The Fall? They're not. They are in the same ballpark, actually. They're more kind of probably a bit more sort of proggy and very weird, but that's The Fall as well, isn't it? So I think if you like, a friend of mine is massively into The Fall, and he loves Cardiacs. So I think you'd like them, Paul.
LOL. Michael, the Beatles' White Album #1, Physical Graffiti #2. Yeah, that might be my choice too.
Yeah, they're great. You can't argue with those picks.
I was otherwise detained.
Likely
it's
story.
Bob, Janet Sampson.
Ooh, Electric Ladyland. Good one, Bob.
Didn't think of that one.
Yeah. People get older. Yeah, I know. Including singers. A vocalist at 75 can never be at the same level at 25. My opinion is they should well, what do you think of Russell Mael?
Yeah, Russell Mael kind of likes that one, doesn't he?
Yeah. Musicians are born to play music and play until you die. I don't care if a lot of them like there's some that struggle, but some kind of like you take Bob Dylan, he kind of reinvents himself at 82 and comes up with a way to get the songs across, and I think there's lots that do that. And, I say God bless you, keep rocking.
So we disagree with you, knucklehead rock.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more saying the Cardiacs are a band. Oh, a band I need to hear more of. Okay.
Yeah, they're a big sort of cult rock acts over here. The people that do know them, kind of like a bit like Grateful Dead. They're just very, very passionate about them. So,
did they have one big hit single or something? Or is that some other band?
Cardiacs had a song that called "Is This the Life," which wasn't a hit, but they kind of got a bit of radio play. There was a music video, that kind of thing, and it kind of sounds a bit like The Cure, crossed with grunge, but it's also like almost 10 years before grunge ever was really a thing as well when it originally was written. So it's quite a trailblazing track. It's worth listening.
Yeah, cool. What does Tim think of Italian prog like PFM? They're really good.
They are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar, but what I've heard of PFM, I'm quite keen on. Yeah, yeah.
Larry, I think you would like. Yeah, I like The Darkness. Yep.
Did you hear The Darkness? What Justin Hawkins covered?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Town. Yeah.
The video was good, wasn't it? Because it
Yeah.
had them in it.
Yeah. What is your all-time favorite concert? Well, mine would have to be more than one. It'd be Sparks last year. I've seen them 5 times in total. And Paul McCartney in 2010, 9 rows back, center stage, 3 hours.
Wow.
And I got to meet the band. Glenn.
Rolling Stones 72, Exile on Main Street tour, Stevie Wonder opening act.
Okay, Tim, try and beat that.
I'm just going to say Sparks as well, because it kind of was. Last year we went to both nights at the Albert Hall. The first night we got front row tickets for.
Wow.
So it was front row. I sat right in front of Ron for the entire set.
Wow.
I still haven't got over it.
Do you think they were nervous? Could you tell if they were nervous or not at first?
Well, because I was there. Yeah, I sort of said, just calm down, guys. You'll be fine. And they were flawless. I mean, we saw them the opening night in Oxford, and they were great. But by the time the Albert Hall had come round, they were better. And then we saw them on the last date in the UK before Glastonbury, which was in Wolverhampton, and they were even better again.
Wow.
Yeah, just such a tight. The backing band is so good, so talented.
Yeah. There's a Poison fan. There's the Poison fan.
There is one.
They come out. Yeah, the one guy comes out of the woodwork every year.
I might have to. I think it's just behind me here. Here we go.
Here it is. Okay.
So Cardiac, Sing to God. I'm sat so close to my camera. What a weird album cover that is, right?
Yeah, it's cool though.
I wrote that name down. I got to check these guys out.
Yeah, it's again, it's a very long album, but yeah, it's definitely one to check out.
Rock till you drop.
Yes.
Yeah, if they can sing. If they can't, I'll keep my money. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all up to you, right? If you want to go see them and support them, or you don't.
Yeah.
Morris, you don't look that good as them now. I don't know what you're going to look like when you're old.
And there goes Morris. He's done. He's out of here. He closes his YouTube channel and he doesn't go on the internet again, Glenn. Because of you.
Yeah, it's a testament to clean living, isn't it, Sparks? The fact that they're, that way in their 70s.
Yeah. See, Steve or Michael mentions Don Henley, which the big controversy about him lip syncing. But I would rather hear Don Henley struggle to sing a song live than to lip sync.
Yeah.
I don't care if his voice has changed a little bit.
And I'm sure he can still sing a bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I mean,
even when Led Zeppelin did that that last reunion show in 2002 or whenever it was, Robert Plant, they lowered the keys in a lot of those songs so Plant could sing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's ways.
You hear the band No Dice? No, I haven't. Well, that name rings a bell, but no, I don't think I'm familiar with No Dice. Who were No Dice?
It's a Badfinger album.
The Survival of St. Joan. I think I've heard about that.
I've never heard of that. I never gave it much thought.
I didn't know he had.
Yeah. I went to the Toronto movie festival, film festival or whatever one year downtown and ran into Willem Dafoe. The guy's about 3'2", and he plays these like larger than life villains in like Spider-Man.
He's the crazy character, isn't he?
I swear to God, he's 5 foot tall.
Wow, I didn't know. He must be wearing big platform shoes and everything. We saw him in Poor Things recently, and he was great. But yeah, he didn't come across as a short guy in that film.
Yeah, he's small, very slight. Attaboy, Joel. Wave the flag, buddy.
I appreciate your honest reply. Yeah, usually we're not honest. We like to lie a lot on this live chat.
Yeah.
So Tim, I would like you know,
Okay.
you got the time here to talk about Pale Wisdom, you know, in general, and then of course the new Sparks, but give it away. Take it away for 5 minutes.
Take it away.
Okay,
Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. So yeah,
Your time's up, Tim.
Thank you. What did you guys think?
Thanks for coming up.
Wow, look at that. That looks really professional. That doesn't it? Looks like a real thing. I've got one here. That's a CD.
Yeah, but mine's sealed, Tim.
Did you know, Larry, that those other records you've got are different colors?
Are they really? I haven't opened them. Yeah.
If you look on the sticker on the front, it sort of tells you what. Because I named them after each color after a different Sparks song.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's the angry edition you've got there.
That looks like somebody poured chocolate milk all over a record.
If you don't want to open yours, let me just grab mine and I'll show you.
That's beautiful vinyl. There, you're not supposed to put your fingers all over the record.
So yeah, that one you've got there was the angry edition, the what are all these bands so angry about edition, which I thought was a funny thing to call it, which was just for the Kickstarter backers, and we had a few left over, so I sent them out. This one is the Eaten by the Monster of Love edition.
Nice. Oh, that's
that is really nice.
Obviously, they're all slightly different. They all don't come out like this. But
wow, that is really nice.
Very cool.
That one. That one's available to order now. And you can also still get copies of the Moon Over Kentucky edition of the Sparks album. And this one is kind of like a...
Ooh.
Oh, that's nice, too. Wow, they look beautiful.
So, yeah, we used to do just black vinyl back in the day. I think the Bowie one's available on black vinyl, but nobody bought it. Everyone wanted the coloured vinyl. So I kind of dropped doing black vinyl now. There's no
Does it cost you more money to produce, to manufacture colored vinyl versus black?
Not pence more, I think, per unit. So
yeah, so it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, black vinyl technically is coloured, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but obviously having these snazzy designs like this are a little bit more, but it's kind of what people want and expect these days with vinyl. And then you vinyl buyer these days just like to have these nice designs and these colors, so
yeah,
we're quite keen to continue to do that. All of our stuff is pretty much on colored vinyl now. But yeah, I was really pleased with the Sparks one to be able to get Martin Gordon's input.
Yeah,
so we've never had anybody from someone who was actually on the album, the original album that we're paying tribute to, have any contribution to our project before, and he
and when I knew it was him writing, I was thinking, oh, here we go, it's going to be, but it wasn't negative, it was.
Yeah, I know.
It was pretty good overall.
He a few people did say he might write something. I was expecting it to be a little bit more negative than it was, but it came. He's obviously very coloured by his experience in the band, and what he did write was brilliant. It's very informative. As a fan, I was really informed to read what he wrote. So, and
his bass playing on that is so good.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. It makes the sound, doesn't it? That record he had really does make the sound. So yeah, I was very pleased that he agreed to be a part of it, and I know that he's has been a divisive figure a little bit, I think, in the Sparks community, hasn't he? From what I'm new to it myself, so
yeah,
I don't really know, but I was happy to have him on board, and I'm very happy with what he did. Same for Rude from the fan mail website.
Yeah,
what he wrote was very, very good as well. It made my little scribblings in there seem quite insubstantial by comparison. But
now I could have added a little thing, right? I said I bought Sparks Kimono My House, listened to it once, and threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, we could have. Yeah, I could have put that on the sticker actually, Larry. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, Bailey. I'm running this on 2 channels, so you might not see all of the comments. It depends which of the 2 YouTube channels, because I have 2 that you're on. But I try and put everybody's comments up here to see for the most part. Well,
Oh.
Glenn, did you ask him for an
I
autograph?
did not ask him for an autograph.
It's Music Talk with John. That's such a wonderful cover. Yeah. Don't play any Eagles music on YouTube.
No.
It's Pleasant Valley Picker.
And panel.
Now, here's an idea,
panel,
Tim,
Tim.
for the future.
Panel.
I'd like to see an eatable record. Yeah, do you like the album?
That'd be a good
enough
idea.
not-
So if you buy it, like an album made of like potato chips, and if you don't like it, you just eat it.
You could technically eat a record now. It wouldn't taste very nice, and it probably wouldn't do your teeth much good, but you could eat one.
Is white vinyl overrated a bit?
I've got a lot
Really?
of white vinyl, and there's something about white vinyl where it doesn't sound quite as good 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I've noticed, but I love the look of it. So swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, colored vinyl's kind of cool. I like it too. And I think the days are over when people used to say it didn't sound as good as black vinyl.
No, I think that's the case with picture discs more so
Yeah.
than colored vinyl. But colored vinyl now, there's nothing in it between colored vinyl and normal black vinyl. Thankfully,
That's cool. Yeah, Michael Jackson.
I've got a Madonna picture disc somewhere.
Wow.
Chocolate Records.
Ah, yes, no, I have seen those. Yes.
The Damned. That is a good band. Even Glenn liked them.
Mm-hmm.
I had tickets to see the Damned on their tour last year. They went on sale, and they were in a venue in Bath where I live. So I jumped on them straight away, bought the tickets, and then after I bought them, I looked at my calendar and realised it was the same date as the last Sparks show we were going to.
Oh no.
So it was like, do I go and see the Damned just down the road, or do I go and watch Sparks for the 4th time?
Yeah,
on
that's what
the
they're
tour?
calling it.
So I still haven't seen the Damned.
Yeah, 50 years later. Yeah, that is a very cool cover. There's the CD version of it.
Yeah, thanks, Morris. It's our artist, Sarah.
Yeah, that
She does all the art for our stuff.
Somewhere here. I don't know
It's
where.
Dan, my
I put it
my
up here.
business partner's his wife that does it. Yeah, oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Very nice.
it's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think, I'm almost tempted to open them to see what colored vinyl it is, but I don't think I will. It'll be nice to.
It tells you on the sticker though, right?
Yeah, it'll stay on the sticker.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it says purple and transparent.
Yeah, so that's I've showed you both of them. They'll look not a million miles away to the ones I showed you. And the other one is
And this one says red and yellow.
Yeah.
Cool. I think Glenn wants to get into Sparks now.
Yeah, I'm
going to give him one of the
You're
albums.
selling me. I think I'll be heading over to Pale Wizard after we get off of here tonight.
No, just enter the contest for now, Glenn. But I want everybody else to go to Pale Wizard and
Are you
buy.
going to fix it so I win? I don't want to wait for no reason.
And just remember, seriously, like if you're a fan of Budgie, which I've heard of the band, I haven't heard much of their music. And David Bowie, that's a big one, Glenn. Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, the Bowie one would be interesting.
Yeah. And then Alice Cooper, Killer. That is a killer cover.
it's great. I love the way that she copied the original calendar as well inside.
Yeah,
So,
I'll show
because the original album had the calendar, didn't it?
There is there.
Trying to find my copy of Killer.
Wow, very cool.
So yeah, it's not a million miles away, is it, from the original?
Tell me something else. Are these albums available to stream on any streaming services?
Yep.
They are, yeah. Not worldwide, unfortunately, because there's certain countries have certain issues with cover version rights. So, for example, the US, I don't think our stuff is on streaming in the US.
It is in Canada. Yeah.
But it is in Canada.
On where, Larry? What service?
It's not all of them, but
Spotify.
Spotify?
And
it's on
anywhere
Apple
else.
Music. Yeah, all of the main streaming platforms you should be able to find us on.
Excellent.
Although if you type in 50 years later, it does come up with a lot of other stuff as well. So yeah.
YouTube? Are you on YouTube?
We're on YouTube. Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. All of our stuff is available to listen to for free on YouTube.
Okay.
And we've also got quite a few discussion videos of me and Dan talking about music and ranking
Excellent.
discography.
And that's under Pale Wizard or?
All under Pale Wizard Records. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Oh, $200 and it's yours. Wow. Let me think that one over.
You'd be overpaying for that one, Bob. There was too many of those produced. That's the problem. It's not a real collectible.
Yep. We all want to hear how much Glen absolutely loves Klaatu. Yeah, he dedicated that song.
You
to
didn't
It's a
watch my
Klaatu
12
song.
Bands I Hate video.
Play it on banjo.
This Bands I Hate phenomenon on YouTube is actually sort of generating quite a few views for people.
I just did a video and so did Glen.
I've seen yours, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Larry.
Yeah.
I'll have to check Glen's out.
So what would be bands that you dislike?
The
Or hate?
band I probably hate the most. Hate's a strong word, isn't it? I quite hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Or
Yeah.
I strongly dislike them. Like a
The only thing about the Chili
Like
Peppers
no more.
is he's such a great bass player.
he is, yeah, and he's a big Sparks fan as well.
It's
He's
too
a-
bad he's in the Chili Peppers.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the band with that man, that Anthony Kiedis man. Yeah, not a fan at all. I can't listen to them. There's something about their music which just makes me want to claw my ears out. I don't know why. It's always been that way. I really like Faith No More, and I just find the Chili's just like a really, really bad rip-off of Faith No More of the way that Patton sings. I know that there's some controversy with those two bands over who did it first, but there's no doubt who does it better.
Yeah, that's really good. Focus. There you go.
Yeah, that is a copy of a picture, quite a well-known picture of Sparks from around that time.
Yeah.
But she's definitely put her own little spin on it. It's she does a lot of her drawing in charcoal, and
Yeah.
so detailed. It's really cool.
I've heard of them.
I do like St. Vincent. It's a woman. I forget her name. Her real
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Goes by St.
Of what I've
Vincent.
heard,
She's actually really, really talented. Good songwriter.
Yeah, agreed.
It's even framed, Glen.
Oh, the frame might be worth $200. That would be
Ooh.
a CD, but still unopened. Think I could get more than $50 for it? If it's an original, yes, absolutely. I think you could probably get $200 for it.
Dan, if you want to send it to me, I can do an unboxing for you. I don't mind, honest.
Will you send it back though?
No. That's-
Just make sure it's not a Russian copy.
Very arrogant front man. I know Glen's at the front. He is arrogant.
Yeah, but I'm on the bottom.
I'm the drummer in the background here.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
I
got
never get an
talent.
opportunity to listen to Taylor Swift. Michael, where are you that you hear Taylor Swift?
I know
listen to
one
music
song.
24 hours a day, and I never hear her.
The one song I've heard is good, but
Yeah.
she's clearly very talented. She's made a lot of money, but
Yeah, you got to give
it's
her.
not for me. It's not for me.
No. Oh, that'd be cool.
Hmm.
Dylan covers are always good.
Yeah, this is the I Hate Guns N' Roses live chat.
Yeah.
Glen was a member of Klaatu. I did not even know
Yeah.
that.
I used to be in the Beatles too.
How much is that boyfriend in the window? Glen looks like he's either watching a Jays game or having a Klaatu listening session.
The Jays are on in the background, and they won 5-0.
All
Turn
right.
it off now. There.
Yeah, another band Glenn doesn't like, Oingo Boingo.
No, I don't have it on my hate list. It's a name embargo. I don't like the name. It's I've never heard a song by Oingo Boingo. I can't comment.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a Pale Wizard ranking of the bands we hate, because that might be interesting if we both pick 5. Because I've already given away my number 1, but we'll see. That's quite a good idea for a video.
Yeah.
That's sexist.
That's sexist.
I thought
You should mention a man too.
I thought we matured by 2024, and we don't talk like
that. You've offended me.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of Sparks, what would be your 3? I have seen your ranking, but it's been a while. What would be your 3 favorite Sparks albums right now?
Propaganda, Indiscreet, and Kimono My House. Yeah, I'm not I'm not a controversial person when it comes to Sparks albums. I like them all.
Yeah,
I really do. Genuinely like them all. All in different ways, because there's of such a wide range and a lot of music there. But yeah, the 3 Island albums from the 70s are my favorite. Propaganda is my favorite one. It was hard to choose between the 2 of them for 50 years later, because obviously they both came out this year, 50 years ago.
Did you kind of think of combining them in some way?
Oh, I did, but it's the cost of it. It's another 10 bands we'd have to find and pay. The bands don't do this for free, Larry. Unfortunately, it's a shame. If they did,
really, I did not know that.
But I'd love to do Propaganda, but it's November that came out, and what is it now? May. I would have 6 months to do it.
Yeah,
is it possible?
Do you have? I hope I'm not asking questions that you don't want to answer, but I'm just curious. Do you have something in mind, like how many copies you expect to sell when you do this, or do you have a goal of saying, if I sell 1,000 records, I'll be real happy, or 10,000, or
not 10,000. We're only a small label. There's a limited run on the vinyl. We've done 500 for the Sparks.
Okay.
We haven't sold them all yet, but it's getting that way.
Wow, that's very limited. 500's great.
Yeah. There's 200 of each of the colors that are still available, and then there was 100 of the black and orange one, which was a Kickstarter exclusive. Pretty much all of those have gone now, and then there's plenty of copies of the CD available still.
Wow.
But yeah, vinyl is it's expensive to manufacture, so it's always quite a limited run. So I think we've done 500. Actually, no, I tell a lie. We did 1,000, I think, of Alice Cooper.
When you're talking about an average artist, like, I don't know, I don't even want to name one. I don't know. What are their expectations these days in sales? It's not like it used to be million sellers and people get gold records. Now, if you sell like 1,000 or a couple thousand,
you can make the charts.
Are you considering that like a good?
Yeah, well, yeah, you would make the charts on those kind of figures for albums these days.
Yeah,
especially in this country.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's coming back though, isn't it? The physical side of music is coming back. The streaming is there is a backlash against streaming in general. Sort of bubbling up. You can I see more and more people talking about how they just prefer to have their music on a
awesome.
vinyl, and it's the same with films. I still buy Blu-rays. I don't stream films really. I'd much rather have the physical thing. If I'm not going to the cinema, I'd rather just buy it and then watch it on Netflix or Amazon. I find all that kind of thing soul destroying. You're not actually ever owning anything. You're just renting it and it's coming out of space. It's just depressing, isn't it? Where if you've got a tangible object you can hold in your hand, that's the kind of thing that keeps music alive. Yeah. Have you Xavier Rudd? I haven't. No. Who is Xavier Rudd?
Glenn hates a lot of bands and people.
I hated 12.
How did you narrow your list down then if you hate so many?
12 is, but that was it. I had a hard time coming up with 12.
I think I'd struggle when you say hate, it's such a strong word.
I kind of tease it that makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Better bonus tracks. No, but bonus tracks as good as the album, like with Sparks, like the B-sides that are on this.
That's the advantage of a
Barbecue
CD. I mean, it's just the format allows for more of that kind of content than a vinyl record. I mean, you can only put so much music on a
and
side.
I want the bonus tracks on a separate CD. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Sparks, gratuitous sax and senseless violins, little Beethoven, and balls. Watch your language. I prefer CD and DVD, but we'll be upgrading to Blu-ray. Yeah.
Geez, you're gonna get indoor plumbing too, Morris? That's Blu-ray. That's upgrading to Blu-ray.
Glenn is a future Devo fan. I can tell. I can sense that.
Yeah, got it written all over me.
Does your pressing plant contractor use Quiet X or something similar chemical additive to make the vinyl quiet? I don't know, actually, Joel. I don't know. I'll look into that. But yeah, I'm sure they must use something. Well, all of our records are pressed in the Czech Republic. Most of the big pressing plants in the UK were shut down in the 90s, and they're all gone. So it's most of the vinyl production in this country is now sort of based in Europe. So we get all of our records manufactured in the Czech Republic. But I don't know what additive they might use to make it quieter. I'll look into that.
It's the same as changing strings on a guitar. I mean,
yeah,
it's just a pain in the ass. It's
great job.
Yeah, a Woofern tweeters clothing. Yeah. Can't picture Glenn with the plastic upside down flower pot Devo hat though.
No. That's funny.
Okay. Isn't this fun, Tim?
I'm having fun.
Glenn, are you having fun?
It's awesome. It's great. Tim's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
At first, Tim, Glenn was saying there, I don't want anybody else, because Glenn likes being the center of attraction. And then so
I don't like sharing Larry. It's not,
I'm not too demanding. I'm happy to be quiet if you guys want.
Nope.
I don't know them.
He doesn't like the name.
Well, it's a good name.
That's right. They gotta want to change.
Yeah.
Well, Morris is having fun, so that's good.
That makes 4 of us.
Yeah. What's your hat say there, Glenn?
My hat says Deering Banjos.
Is that the name of a banjo
company? Yeah, it's a manufacturer of high quality banjos.
Tim, what are your thoughts on bluegrass music?
I quite like the Dead South. So would they be classed as bluegrass?
Yeah, they're kind of put in that genre a little bit. Yeah,
I've seen them live a couple of times.
Oh wow!
Around here, and yeah, I really like their music. I do kind of like that kind of. If I'm going to listen to country, it would have to be. I quite like Colter Wall. He's from Canada. Yeah, do you guys know him?
Who's that?
Colter Wall.
No.
Check him out. He's got a very gravelly, almost Johnny Cash kind of voice.
How do you spell that?
I'll just show you the record because it's going to be to hand. Everything's to hand here when I'm sat here. This one. Colter Wall.
Colter Wall. Okay.
Yeah. And that's...
There's the name, Glenn. Imaginary Appalachia.
So yeah, he's...
Glenn, he didn't write down the name of the title. Show him the title.
He's done
Imaginary Appalachia. Okay.
I think the Dead South, they're on this as a featured artist on this. I think this is an EP. I think it's 7 tracks. But definitely one to check out.
You got to check out his Billy Strings. Have you heard anything by Billy Strings?
I haven't. I know.
Oh, you should check him out, man. What a guitar player! Amazing. He's playing, I would call it progressive bluegrass music, and selling out like arenas and stuff with it. So
Well,
it's just pretty cool.
it's definitely made a resurgence, that kind of music, hasn't it, over the last few years? I quite like Trampled by Turtles as well.
Oh, a great band. Yeah.
Now we're into movies. What movie have you rewatched the most? I would say Goodfellas and The Wizard of Oz.
Wow. Geez, it might be a Beatles movie for me if I watched the most. Might be like Help or Hard Days.
And Debbie Does Dallas. That's when I was younger.
I would probably say Rocky Horror Picture Show more than anything else, because I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid, and it's also my wife's favorite film. So we've seen it, and we've seen it at the cinema quite a few times as well. We've seen the stage show a few times. You know, it's good stuff.
Have you seen it? Like, I went on a date once with this woman in the 70s, and she took me to see it at the theater.
Yeah,
and that was when people were actually throwing the toast at the screen and shouting all the slogans. It was
there too.
It was crazy.
Yeah, they've got a whole script for it, haven't they? The audience.
Yeah. Like that narrator would sit there and everybody going, "Where's your effing neck?"
Yes.
No, I've never seen ZZ Top live.
Me neither.
Nope.
Best outdoor concert.
Oh, Blind Faith, Delaney and Bonnie, and Taste
Wow.
at Varsity Stadium, 1969.
I would probably go with Faith No More at Donington in England, 2009. So when they first made a comeback, and they were incredible.
Yeah. Glenn has actually seen, seriously, he's seen Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin,
Wow.
a few others.
I'm old.
That's impressive. I mean, Hendrix wasn't really around that long, was he? So
No.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, they hate the Eagles.
Shaky Graves.
I've
I like
heard
the name.
him. Yeah.
Is that you, Larry? That'd be a good character. That'd be a great character for you, Larry. Get your guitar out and
Dead South. Also, is that a show or a band?
it's a band.
It's a band. Okay. Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah.
Great film.
I tried mandolin once. I had a dobro. I was okay on the dobro. I played in a country rock band, and some songs the banjo didn't fit, and I got a dobro just to throw in a bit of color, and I like that. It's actually tuned the same as a banjo, so you get a head start when you're learning it.
Tim, what instruments do you play?
I don't really play anything, you'll be surprised to hear. I do have a guitar. I'm just not very good at it. So I kind of gave up my whole playing an instrument deal a while back, and we kind of just sort of deal with the studio side of it now. My rock star days never really happened, sadly.
This is the first time I've seen commercials on this live. Yes, it's because I want to make money.
Yeah.
Our old sound man played banjo. Dirty Harry. Glenn, any word on who is opening for the Stones on their upcoming North American tour?
I haven't got a clue.
Maybe it's a Dead South, eh?
Yeah.
I thought their tour's already going on, isn't it? Like, I mean, you could probably just look at the set list and see, like, they were already playing, so.
I made somebody laugh, Glenn. Coulter Wall is great. I also like Charlie Parr. Springsteen.
I saw I was at that show too, Bob. That was the Born in the USA tour, right? 85, maybe?
Glenn saw the Tommy Dorser's older brother live.
Yeah, he opened for Al Jolson. It was quite a show.
Billy Joel. Wow, 2024. Cool.
I'd like to see Billy Joel. Never seen him.
Well, our friend John there, he's a huge fan.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
Yeah, that was stupid. That's the stupidest plateau being the Beatles. It's right up there with it.
Yep. And the Buzzcocks. Fight Club. I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, it is 25 years. A local cinema was playing it, and I was thinking, well, why is that? Oh, yeah, it's 25 years old. Doesn't that make you feel old?
Lee plays the badminton. Wow.
Badminton racket. Who didn't do that when they were a kid, pretending it was a guitar?
Paul McCartney died in 1960. I've heard that. Trust me, his ghost has appeared to me. Well, that's proof right there, Bailey. Tim, do you like the Beatles?
I like the early stuff. So all the
really?
Love Me Do, I Want to Hold Your Hand, all the sort of twee pop stuff. Big fan of that. Yeah. So I really like the Red Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
You know, the blue one, not so much. I kind of like some of the stuff on the White Album, but as it goes on, I kind of lost interest. So when it comes to like, you know, Let It Be and not really for me. And I don't really like John Lennon's solo stuff. McCartney, I can tolerate. I quite like a lot of his pop. I don't mind Wings. So yeah. But on the whole, Beatles. I just love all the early stuff. Is that controversial? Is that?
No, it's whatever you like.
Yeah.
I saw April Wine. Yeah, I saw them too. Bob likes Al Jolson. Midnight Oil, Blue Sky Mining Tour. Yeah, they're a very good live band. That was John in Disguise. Abbey Road is my favorite so far. We'll be getting more. Yeah. Magical Mystery Tour on DVD. Here we go. Did you guys ever find old milk crates at corner stores? Yeah, Glenn used to steal them for a living.
Yeah, you had to try and steal them so you had them for your records. And then once everything went metric, the boxes didn't fit anymore for the records. You have to get the old imperial measure size.
Yeah,
I still have a couple out in my garage. Yeah, if you didn't steal them, you couldn't get them.
Yeah. I think, Wings, Venus and Mars is as good.
I agree, Michael. Venus and Mars might be my favorite. That's the one I play the most often, that's for sure.
Where is Sweet Judy in Disguise?
With glasses, isn't it? Or with what? Diamond? What's it? Judy in Disguise?
Judy in Disguise. Beatles, unpopular opinion. I like a lot of the songs on Rubber Soul, but the track order ruins it for me. Well, I like the American version of Rubber Soul that starts with I've Just Seen a Face, right, Glenn?
Yeah. I think a lot of people prefer that, especially if you grew up in North America when you heard it before you heard the UK version.
I think, Tim, in the future, you should do a Beatles tribute album and message Paul McCartney to ask if he'd like to contribute a track to it.
Yeah, I think he definitely would, right? Yeah.
He just write back, no, don't have time. Absolutely not.
No, I don't even think we'd get. If I can't get a response from Sparks, I'm not going to get a response from McCartney, am I?
Yeah.
I did buy a Paul McCartney best of on vinyl quite recently, actually.
Yeah.
The 80s one. Where's that? Yeah, this one.
Oh yeah.
All the Best or something that's called, right?
Yeah.
This is the only one I found which has the Frog song on it.
Yeah.
That was a really big hit over here, the Frog song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I did the same thing when I was like 1964 or whatever. Yeah. Pretend you were a Beatle and get your tennis racket out.
Yeah, the American Rubber Soul does have a sound.
Yeah.
Tim Buckley, yeah, I like him.
And then Goodbye, Douglas.
Yeah. My boyfriend and I watched Magical Mystery Tour a few months ago. We were laughing so hard. Crazy movie, but very fun. Yeah. I found a few proper crates at the Value Village for $5. Yeah.
Wow, they worth that much? I'll sell mine.
Yeah.
I have mine for 20 each. Anybody wants them?
I forgot to mention that also in a couple days, Glenn, I'm doing a live chat. Don't be jealous. I'm doing a pre-recorded live chat with Grant from Grant's Rock Warehouse and another person, and we're going to be talking about Grand Funk's Survival album. You ever heard Grand Funk?
I've never heard it, Larry.
Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've not really listened to a lot, but I'm aware of who they are.
Yeah. You should do a tribute album to them, Tim.
Do they have
I've never heard one song off of that record.
What?
I've never heard that album. Never paid any attention to it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really? This is their best album.
No.
What year was that one?
1971-ish, I believe.
It's already passed.
I only like the first few.
Well, you said you've never heard this, so how would you know?
No, I know, but I kind of just gave up on it.
I'd like to just whack you one, Glenn. I'm due to get my FF asked tomorrow. Morris, that's kind of personal.
That's gotta hurt.
That. In case anybody doesn't know, that's Sparks with Franz Ferdinand. What did you think of that album, Tim? It's pretty good.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. You can kind of tell which are the more sort of Sparks led songs and which are the more sort of Franz Ferdinand. Because I was never really a fan of Franz Ferdinand at all. But yeah, it is a good album. I mean, Johnny Delusional is what a pop song that is. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the McGarrigle Sisters. Good folky stuff.
Yep. Well, I think we're almost done the live chat. Are you ready to call it a day, Glenn?
I am.
I know you haven't had your afternoon nap yet.
I haven't, Larry.
I played it 3 times on YouTube. Yes, you already know the album. Oh, there's Grant. Grant, Larry, don't forget to plug the. I just did, Grant. Are you watching the live chat? It's right here.
Thanks for coming out, Grant.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Grant.
Yeah. Thanks, Tips.
Tuesday at 7. Grant, I'm going to be in bed sleeping by then. That's
I'm
late.
surprised you're doing a chat that late, Larry.
I know. Okay, a few more questions here. What is the weirdest song you have ever heard? It would be, well,
mine would have to be off that. You know that? Oh yeah,
that's pretty weird. One of the songs. Yeah. Go ahead, Glenn.
There's some. You know that Arthur Brown album, not the Galactic Zoo Dossier, but the other one. That other.
Yep. There's one that's self-titled and then Voyage, is it, or something?
The one that's in that set that's also with the same band. There's some weird stuff on there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Then he starts talking about having bowel movements. And
stuff.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff.
Yeah. I would say almost any song from Ween the Pod, although I love it. Tim?
This gives me a chance to plug Cardiacs again because you could pretty much say any of their songs as well, but there's one in particular called Tarred and Feathered, which there is a video for that as well. And that is one of the most off-the-wall and bizarre pieces of music I've ever heard. It shouldn't work, and it does.
I sent you the copy. Grant should show up just for a second here. Anybody can leave anytime. Tim, you don't have to. You're not forced to stay.
That's okay. I've got a little bit of battery left here on my iPad. Yeah. When it goes, I might just disappear all of a sudden.
Yeah. Grant, I just sent you the link. I was waiting for you and Steve to show up. Unless you didn't get the link or something. Bob's going to have a nap. The residents are pretty weird.
Yeah.
I like them though. What's become of the baby? Great.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
That's a song.
Oh, what's become of the baby? Is that a weird one? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming to take me away. That's the first thing that I thought of.
For me, it's most of the works of Bruce Hack. I can't hack him. He's kind of bizarre to me, but I love him.
How about something off of Zappa's album Thingfish? There's some weird stuff in there.
So bad. They're coming to take me away. Ha ha.
To the funny farm.
Here. Do. Anything by Nervous Norvus is weird. And Bob is old.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Well, there's some good suggestions there. I do like weird music, so I might investigate a few of those things.
Have you heard Weens the Pod?
I haven't. No. I'm going.
That is seriously,
yeah.
Like I said, the first time I played it, I hated it. I didn't play it for a couple weeks. Then I decided I'll play it again, and I really liked it. And then the third time, I loved it.
You did that with Kimono My House as well.
Yeah.
So quite a recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah. When was the first time you were aware of Sparks? Annette, right? The movie.
Annette, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I'm quite into my films and just happened to see Annette and loved it and thought I'd need to investigate a bit further. And yeah, then it was like a whole year spent listening to this back catalogue of 26 albums. And yeah, quite the journey.
Yeah,
very intense. But
I'd never heard of him until I met Larry, and he gave me a steady drip.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know them until
that was the first album proper that I listened to, because that was the new album at the time. So I thought, I'll listen to this,
which is a really good album. I like that one.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite, just because it was my first. I think
it's brilliant. The first track is incredible. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. Probably my favorite Sparks song. All that. Yeah. And a perfect song for them to play when they finish the shows these days as well.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising for them to start especially start an album so serious, like a pretty serious song. What do you think are the lyrics? What do you think the bass? What do you think the lyrics are? Who are they for? Are they for the fans or for Ron and Russ? Like Ron's brother Russell, or
I think it's kind of an acknowledgement of the fan base to some extent from the way it's written. You'd have to ask Paul Barrett that, really, wouldn't you? The Meta Sparks guy.
Yeah, he'll know.
he'll know exactly how it fits into everything else they've ever written as well, which is good.
When you get ID, do you show Stone Tablet happily? I don't understand that.
General Giant,
jokes, but that one went.
Yeah, that went over our heads. In the canons of your mind. Yeah.
Bob's getting very poetic now.
Yeah. So I think that's about it. I'm going to have a link for Tim's Pale Wizard Records, and I hope people check out the website. It's not just Sparks, it's David Bowie, Alice Cooper, Budgie. Who else? Is that it?
That's all the 50 years later so far. Yeah. We also release the music of the band Sergeant Thunderhoof, who are on pretty much all these compilations as well. They're worth checking out if you like your sort of stoner rock kind of progressive style with big epic vocals, and very good stuff.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It was great meeting you, Tim. I'm excited to go to the YouTube channel and check some stuff out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun.
I have a feeling, Tim, Glenn, because he's, I shouldn't say it, he's a multimillionaire. I have a feeling he's going to buy out your store today.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, I'm always looking for investors, Glenn, if you want to send some of that money.
Okay. I make this.
Larry, is that a cat?
I'm looking to emigrate over to the UK. Maybe I could sleep on your couch.
Why not?
Okay.
I'll check with the wife.
Yeah. Yes, that's a cat, but it's Tim's cat.
It's my cat. Yeah,
my cat is behaving.
Yeah, she's being very, very naughty. She knows that I'm doing something I don't usually do, so she's trying to get my attention. I do apologize.
Okay, that is it. Thanks, Glenn. Thank you, Tim. And thanks, everybody. And remember, I'm going to be doing a live chat with Grant's Rock Warehouse for Grand Funk's Survival. It'll be posted probably on both of our channels, and I think we're doing it live. So check that out. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.